Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome back to my Flash episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of The Flash titled Infantino Street. And they did it. They killed off Iris. Again, there's Amy in the background. She watched the episode with me, so she might...
Did I not say the whole time?
do you want to join in?
I mean, Iris isn't going to die. That's all I have to say.
Well, we were like... We
already figured out what happened, so...
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Well, so anyways, so obviously tonight was the episode, or the night that they've been, this whole season's pretty much been leading up to, with the death of Iris. And while we did see Savitar drive a knife through Iris, there's still a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things that us fans, including me and Amy, have been, theorizing since the end of the episode. Because there's a lot of things that, for us as the audience, are like, wait a minute, certain things don't line up, and they're like, we'll get into that in a little bit, but just, I thought this was a really well done episode, and it was a really great, penultimate episode to the season. While there were some things in the episode that really bothered me, in terms of character decisions, I really loved this episode as a Flash episode, because, first of all, we see Captain Cold back. We see King Shark for a bit. And King Shark wasn't the villain of the episode, and that's what I thought it was going to be, because I didn't think that tonight was going to be the night that I thought they were going to save this whole the night Iris dies for
Called it.
for the finale, but they didn't, and they actually decided to, for as far as we know, kill off Iris. And I feel like because of them showing us Iris's death so many times, and because of them doing it tonight, that Amy and I both think that somehow they're gonna bring Iris back. Because first of all,
should we not say how? Because the whole world's
it's a theory. Obvious. Well, it's not. It's a theory. It's not,
but 99% of people think that that's what happened.
All right, so potential spoilers, but this is just a theory that we have. So if you guys don't want to hear theories or potential spoilers for the finale, whatever. So we both have been theorizing that at the end of the episode, somehow HR switched with Iris, and
I think it was when Barry was shooting at Savitar with the cannon. Some people said that Jesse Quick replaced them, and then I was thinking Wally was so upset, even though he was injured, he was so upset that he didn't help Barry that maybe he did it, and that they had mentioned that HR was dying, and you said that was a lie, but then maybe he actually was, and that's how he convinced Iris to do it.
Maybe, yeah. But then I feel
because that's the only thing. If Iris knew, I don't think she would have let him do that. Oh yeah, go ahead and die for me.
But then, well, maybe what it was heat of the moment thing, we're doing this now, go run, and then
she just didn't know. They were just go do this, and she didn't even have time to think anything,
yeah.
And that would explain why her dad wouldn't know and would be so upset. Mm-hmm. And obviously Flash can't know. And
then, and to me, and that would be honestly a better way to end the season than if they just kill
because
off.
They can have him back. They always have him back as somebody else, or they could even bring Earth 2 back.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be fine either way.
Yeah, because Tom Cavanaugh's not going anywhere.
Tom Cavanagh will be fine. He'll either play someone completely different
or a previous version.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the show, that's the one thing they've made clear, is that they're going to continue on with a version of Harrison Wells. And whether it is Harry coming back, and who we did see in this episode, and it was it was nice seeing him again. And it's funny because I wasn't super sold on Harry last year, because I didn't necessarily like his character that much.
I find him annoying. This version.
Oh, HR, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he told them where Iris was?
Yeah, well, that's supposedly something I'm about to get into. So, obviously, you guys know I've been very back and forth with my, liking and disliking of HR. Tonight's episode, okay, if what we're theorizing is true, and HR pulled the stunt of he switched with Iris, because in this episode, they bring back the face-swapping technology when Barry and Snart were breaking into Argus, and Barry put on Lila's face to break in. And if they pull something like that to where to where HR switched with Iris, that makes the scene where HR gives away Iris, because at first when we saw that, I was fucking pissed. I hated, I was like, oh, you dumbass, we were both just so, like, angry. It was like, why? Like, it's just, I don't know. But again, if this was all part of a bigger plan, and if wasn't just, like, Harry being dumb, then it's forgivable. But at the same time, as much as I want to think that, there's this deep underlying thing of Harry switching with Iris, a part of me thinks that because of the way the Flash writers have been this season, that they aren't going to do that. That they aren't necessarily... Not saying that the Flash writers aren't smart, but they aren't as clever as the fans can be in that aspect, that they would go that route with the characters. Because I just... I don't know, because I feel like with a lot of us fans, like, we have some... Nothing like just me. I'm not saying just me. I mean, I've had some theories out there, like Barry being Savitar was one of them, and that was right. But that wasn't, like, a too far out there theory, because I feel like they planted the seeds that Barry was Savitar. They planted
the seeds about HR.
Kind of. But, like...
Yeah, I think they did.
I don't know. I just, like, I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high, because I've been let down with the show in the past.
The point is, they're not going to let Iris die.
Yeah.
Also, like, people are saying they've hinted a lot about them having Bart.
Oh, like...
in the future. So they can't kill them.
Yeah.
They're going to have them raise a child.
Yeah, well, Bart isn't their child, it's their grandchild, but...
Well, I'm talking about Reddit. I was reading the Reddit thing. But they were talking about how they couldn't kill them because they've planted seeds multiple times about them having kids.
And plus, killing off your romantic lead who's also...
They'll never be able to have him move on.
Well, not even just that, and not even just like, killing off your female lead who's also a woman of color.
Yeah. That's
gonna look really bad.
So, because I don't watch Arrow.
Uh-huh.
When they killed off...
Laurel.
Or, okay, but in the comic, were they together always?
Yeah. Well, they've been, like, on, like... They're
Does she die in the comics?
No. Never.
Okay, see, then it is possible. Because I was trying to say they can't kill Iris because that wouldn't be true to the comics, but if they did it in Arrow, then they
because they did it in Arrow because they wanted to do it for Shock Value. Because in the beginning of Arrow's last season, the first episode they showed Oliver and Barry at a grave, and Oliver's like upset, but they never said who was in the grave until the episode that they killed off Laurel. And obviously, them killing off Laurel was the point for me where I was like, I'm done with Arrow. And for any of you guys who watched that video of me last year, you guys know how pissed I was that they did that. But the Flash writers, I've trusted more so with certain story things, and so I'm not as upset about them killing Iris because the possibility is still there of them bringing her back. And the show has just overall been more consistent than Arrow has been. And Arrow had a good 2 seasons, but season 3 was awful. Season 4 was god awful. But if Iris is dead, they're gonna lose so many fans. Because, for any of you guys who watched my videos in the last couple of years on The Flash, you guys know I'm a huge Iris West fan. Like, Iris is one of my favorite characters in the show. I think Candice Patton is an amazing actress. And, I was, because of Amy, and actually the weekend I proposed to her, we were at Paley Fest, and the first thing we saw while we were there was the DC panel, and Grant Gustin and Candice Patton were both there, so we both got to see her in person, and she just you can tell she loves this character, and she loves the fans, and very much so like with Katie Cassidy and Laurel, like, they've kind of become icons for their characters and for the fan base. And when you treat your female characters like that with such disrespect, not saying that like they treat Iris with disrespect, but if you keep Iris dead, I think you're going to lose a lot of fans. Not to the same extent that people jumped off the ship of Arrow, because Arrow was already going down in quality anyway. And Flash is more or less been just like meh this season. It's gone down a bit in quality, but it hasn't been like god awful. But the Flash, they need to tread this very lightly, because again, the internet will explode if it ends up being that the season ends and Iris is still dead, and they don't have any intention of bringing her back. Because Arrow made that mistake, and then they're trying to fix that mistake by saying, oh, well, here's Black Siren, here's like the character you guys always wanted, here's Laurel Lance with the Canary Cry, even though it's not necessarily what we wanted. Even though we love having Katie Cassidy back in the universe and having her there with her powers, she's not Black Canary, and that's not the Laurel we came to know and love over 4 seasons. And again, while it's cool that she's coming back as a series regular on Arrow next year, that you still disrespected the fan and you disrespected the character. But luckily, Flash hasn't gotten that far yet. And, well, we still enjoyed the episode, right? I mean, I wasn't, like, sitting there, like, pissed about the episode or pissed that they killed off Iris, because I still think, well, because of it being so close to the finale, that they still have a chance to kind of save themselves in that aspect. And that I do think that with them showing Iris's death, like, unlike, like, the one thing I can say about the Flash that it has over Arrow, well, I mean, Arrow is kind of, like, borrow this from the Flash, is because they've established the multiverse and different timelines and all this stuff, even though if they do kill off Candace Patton's Iris West, they can always bring back another version of Iris if they wanted to, or go to another Earth or whatever and bring her back. And kind of like what they did with Laurel Lance on Arrow. It's not ideal, it's not what we as fans want, but it's a possibility that's there, and that's why, like, it's hard for me to believe that they're gonna kill off this character, because Arrow made that mistake and they realized that it was a mistake. And with the Flash, I think there's a bigger game, there's a bigger plan at play that we haven't really realized yet. And yes, we're theorizing that, but and I hope we're right, because I don't want to see Candace Patton gone from the show.
Also, did you notice Julian wasn't in the episode?
I did notice that Julian wasn't in the episode.
I find it odd that he wouldn't be there for the thing they've been working for this whole time.
I don't know if that was, like, because the actor was busy.
They're trying to say maybe Julian's the one who died, but I don't.
But then
so.
He's in the.
They said that would kill the loop or whatever.
Yeah, but he was in that.
So was HR.
Well, that they could have had could have been Harry.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple versions.
He wasn't wearing glasses.
Yeah, but he didn't wear glasses for most of last year.
Maybe he wears. I don't know. I just know Iris isn't good. But
Yeah.
it does.
Well, because also what we're talking.
Maybe Julian's working on something to save Caitlin.
Maybe, and that's one thing I don't believe him being in love with her, because they spent some time together working together, but, like, I don't know. I haven't liked how the show handles Caitlin and her love life. Because, like, I feel like every season, like, they force her into this relationship that ultimately doesn't work out for whatever reason. Like, first season, she was, like, engaged, and then her husband ended up becoming Firestorm, and then he was killed off in the first episode of season 2. They kind of brought him back and all that stuff, and then had her be with Hunter Zolomon, who we thought was Jay Garrick and all that stuff. And now there's this thing with Julian, and now she's Killer Frost, and now there's that. It's all gone. But this episode, I'm starting to think that Caitlin's more in control of Killer Frost than they realize.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because when they said, oh, this is like Barry and Caitlin back at it again.
Yeah, she cared way too much.
Yeah. Like, I as much as I want her to be just Killer Frost, I think it'd be interesting story-wise if they kept her on, but Caitlin was in control of her being Killer Frost. Because then they can almost change it up. Because in the comics, she's a straight-up villain, and she has no real ties to Flash, because there was no Team Flash in the comics. She was just a villain that Flash and other superheroes fought. But I think that what they've done with her character in the last couple of episodes and teasing that Caitlin is more there than Killer Frost wants to think, or even that everyone else realizes, I think they're teasing that Caitlin is probably going to end up being in control by the end of this. But, yeah, so those are just my thoughts on that. And I know I kind of veered off from what I was bringing up earlier, but again, it was so cool seeing Wentworth Miller back as Leonard Snart, and them going back to first season of Legends and bringing that version of Snart back for this episode. Because that's one thing I was wondering about when they showed the promo for this week's episode, that, you know, Leonard Snart was back. Because it's like, and you see the Wave Rider in the show and in the promos. So you're like, oh, so like at what point do they pull him back? And I believe it's from the episode of Legends where Captain Cold leaves in the past, and then Mick ultimately becomes the Kronos or whatever. And I think that I'm pretty sure that was the case. If I'm wrong, you know, feel free to let me know in the comments. But I just really enjoyed seeing him back, because obviously I think these shows are better with Wentworth Miller there. That's why I thought this season of Legends was a lot better when having him as part of the Legion of Doom this year, because just having him around, he's a great character. And I'm glad to see him and Barry's dynamic in this episode, and just seeing them team up, and just seeing Wentworth Miller back. I can go on and on about how much I miss him as a character, but I don't have the space on my computer for that, or I don't think you guys want to hear me ramble on anymore than already have. So just to wrap things up, I think that next week's episode is going to be a very much darker and emotionally darker episode. A lot of things are going to be answered. It is the season finale. I want Iris to stay alive, but honestly, I don't know. we again, me and Amy both have a lot of theories on what's going to happen, but again, we'll just have to wait and see on next Tuesday night when the season finally ends. So I think with that being said, that's going to be it for me, and as well as Amy right here on the side. So what did you guys think of this episode? Sound your thoughts in the usual place in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up, and hit the subscribe button for all the other content I put up on my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.